my name's David Duperre. I go by Kooky Bricks online. So what I've got starting on here, I've got my one less dragon. Line being, you never want to take ale from a dwarf, so you have the dragon that maybe has stolen treasure from the town for quite some time, but once he took the ale, that was going to be to it. You know, you have the kegs of ale in the back, you have the unfortunate severed head of the dragon, and a celebrating dwarf here drinking now as ale. And although he did get a little bit, as you can see, the singe up the top, so he got a little bit, but he made it through that. So that's that one there.
Such a fun scene. I especially love the light kind of coming from under the treasure chest area that he's sitting on.
That was, you know, as we refer to, a butt full of gold. Going to be sitting on that. So over here I've got my Fight of Frost and Flame. The original idea behind this was I was actually going to do a Star Wars build. It was going to be the scene from Empire Strikes Back where Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader are crossing swords and the Emperor was in the background. But when I actually reviewed and looked at that, that's an awful lot of black and gray and kind of not very vibrant. Mm-hmm. So we pivoted from sci-fi over to fantasy. And we ended up making, okay, let's do wizards. We'll have a winter wizard, a summer sorceress, and the Emperor then becomes this cowering alchemist who's hiding under the table because they come to try to steal his magic book of secrets, the purple book there that obviously combines the blue and red. And so they're wreaking havoc upon his poor laboratory. This has got a lot of fun details. I just ended up spending more time just throwing all kinds of junk that I could in everywhere. We've got the alchemy stuff on the table where he's turning lead to gold. We have all the books and stuff and the carving, the dragon head carving at the top of the bookcase, the beholder carving on the top of the arch. Each of the symbols is kind of loose representations of earth, air, fire, water, since it's an alchemist item. Fireplace, and that is a chimera head, a three-headed creature of a lion, dragon, and goat for some reason, but mythology, that's what it says it is. And then, of course, we got the, just because you got to have something on the floor, make it more interesting, so we got the whole, all 9 planets, or 8 planets. Pluto's actually hidden under that chair, because people will complain if you don't include Pluto. So we got the cracking lava, we got the frost coming off from him. You know, that was a lot of fun build. That was I really spent, honestly, more time stocking shelves and trying to figure out what's going to be put on the shelf, including an Easter egg of what we're going to come up to. So I have a micro version of my Medusa build right there on top, which is what will show the real version, because that one was built before this one. It was going to be an homage to as an Easter egg, and a few people have actually caught it because they're sitting here side by side. This is the only time I've actually ever showed them together.
Mm-hmm. This is such a fun build, and like you said, the colors really do stand out here. So I think you chose wisely with this scene. The stained glass is another really nice technique. So what are some of the main elements in there, and how do you kind of keep that together?
So that was my first attempt. It was going to be a center item because you're looking square in the center, and I wanted to try my hand at doing a cheese wedge technique where you're just squeezing cheese wedge. There's no connection there. That's all just pressure held together. And as long as you figure out the right combinations to get it all together, it holds up. For travel purposes, I've got some clear panels on the back so I can actually move it and still push against it without them shattering back out, because there's honestly nothing holding that. So we ended up creating kind of more of the fantasy themes. We got the tower on the left, we got the rose going through the crown in the middle, sword on the right. Whenever we light it, at the night, if you get a film at night, I put this in what I call disco mode, and we'll change all the lighting so it actually flashes and changes all colors, which dramatically makes it look a whole lot different. It's kind of interesting to see. So that was the first attempt on that. So all these are always just, let's see what we can do. The candelabras and all the candles on the back. was an attempt to see if I could actually put candles without, no changes, no adjustments to any Lego. We actually figured out we're going to use all hollow pieces of one kind or another to get the light and cords to go all the way up through there, so you don't see any cords through that. That was a fun trick. There was actually 2 buses holding the lighting in that candelabra to get that effect, and then one light goes all the way up the tube of that. Yeah. So all hollow parts. That's just no modifications.
One of the things that always impresses me with builds like this is the character builds that you've done here with each of these scenes. And so talk about kind of how you approach a character build with Lego. Obviously a lot of really tough shapes and things you're trying to get with the pieces.
Mm-hmm. So generally I've built character builds now for about 2 years. I kind of got hooked when I started watching BioCup online, where they were building Bionicle, and you get into that 10-inch, or as I call it, Barbie doll kind of height. And it's very freeing when you get to that size, because now I don't have to find a part that matches it. I can actually brick build the part of that scale. So when you get into that, you get into, I'm going to build an arm this way. I'm going to build a leg this way. It depends on how you want it to function, how much you need it to move, what position you need it to move in. And I unfortunately have a catalog, which I call body parts, which is literally a collection of different arms and different legs. And then okay, this one applies. So if you look carefully, each of the arms are done differently, especially when we get over to that one. Legs are done differently. The blue wizard gets a little more creative, because now we're going away from the movable parts, except for his arms can move, but his elbows can't do, because I want the draping robe and the draping legs on that, because that was more later. I'd done a couple of arm ones, let's see if I can do some flowing robes and get that smooth curve, which is a different trick and a little bit of a trial and error in of itself. A lot of wedge pieces, a lot of slopes and wedge pieces.
Yeah. And one of the great parts of this build that it does blend into the background is just the furniture pieces and things like that, but it really makes it feel so sort of realistic as the background to this. So do you find you still enjoy building kind of the more basic parts of it, like a chair or a table and a bookcase and things like that?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, I only had one chair in there at one point, and then it was a matter of I felt I needed more space. There was an empty space in that one corner, so we created the fallen chair. I was like, hey, I can whip up another chair. This would be going to be great. I find enjoyment in any of the pieces I build. That's probably one you're building at that scale. You get that look at how much detail I can put in that chair versus very small. And I really do love micro scale. There's a challenge to that. But it becomes frustrating. There's something freeing about being this size, where you look at the detail you can put into it. I even encourage everybody to build at a large scale if they get the chance, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, even the chair, even the table, because I can put all the edge marks in there, put in all the pieces that you typically wouldn't think of using in a table. It's fun.
Yeah. No, that's super cool to hear. So obviously one of the challenges of displaying it at a show like Brick Rodeo is getting the build to the show, getting it set up. What is that process like with this build?
That process has been streamlined quite a bit in this build compared to the next build. In this one, the 2 corners, which is the bookcase and that fireplace, those all are just solid pieces. I take them whole. They just slide right into a box by themselves. Again, it's that window that has to be packed carefully by itself, because we got to take that off, lay it flat. After that, the 2 walls come off, the whole archway comes off, and then it's just 6 plates coming out of that. Furniture all goes in a shoebox. This actually packs up into one crate with that dwarf, all in one crate, not counting the 2 large boxes holding the corners. If it wasn't for the lighting, he's very easy to actually put together, so you'd spend more time wiring up the lighting together.
No, that's great to hear. So if people want to see more of your work online, where are you kind of most active? Can they check out more of your builds online?
I tend to throw just everything I work on Instagram. So you'll have a combination of good stuff and junk, just because it's just whatever. I just try to keep that one active. For all the really just the good quality photos, I have a Flickr account as well. You could find that from a link on the Instagram account. That's probably the easiest way, because it's just a bunch of codes and numbers other than that.
Okay. Well, keep up the great work here. Thanks so much for taking us through the builds.
Oh,